Hello and welcome to ColredPLAYS Raid Shadow Legends. I am Colred. I appreciate you being here today. In this video, I'm finally going to get around to answering your questions from my 1,000 subscribers celebration shorts video. So basically, if you don't know, I hit 1,000 subscribers just last week, and I put out a little shorts video just saying thank you to the community and giving everybody the opportunity to ask me any questions that they may have about YouTube, about me personally, about the game, whatever it was that they were curious about. So we got some questions, not as many as I was hoping for, but we've got some good questions. So I've just picked the best of those. I'm going to answer them in today's video so you can learn a little bit more about me, and just maybe we can have a chill day before the advent of Mythic Champions shakes up the entire game. For our very first question, Saturn234 asks, what is best in life? Now, I know this is a reference to Conan the Barbarian, and I believe Conan's answer is something like slaughtering your enemies, seeing them driven before you, and hearing the lamentations of their women. So it's a little bit of a meme, or a big meme. But I'll take the question serious. What is best in life? What is best in my life right now? Well, my wife, my dog, my new YouTube channel, all of those things are really fantastic. For me, I think one of the most important things is family. So being near my family, being around my family, enjoying family time. Whether that is, like I said, my wife and my dog, or my parents, my brother and his family, my in-laws, my brother-in-law and his kids. So yeah, family is definitely a big priority for me. And then also being able to game, right? Gaming is a big joy in my life. It's a big stress relief. So finding good games and good communities, good gaming communities to game with, that's very important to me. And I think just having something every day that gets me up and excited to go out and do. And that's what this YouTube channel is providing me right now. I do enjoy my job, but I've been doing that for a very long time. And so this is a new challenge and a new endeavor. And I think having opportunities for personal growth in your everyday life, I think that's important. Okay, our next question comes from Pikaboy4408. Who's your favorite champion, regardless of power or utility, unless that's what makes you like them at all? So if you've been watching my channel at all, you know who my favorite champion is. And so that's pretty easy. It's definitely Cardiel. Is it the power of this champion that makes him so enjoyable? I don't know. I think it's a little bit of everything. Obviously, I have a personal attachment because this was my first Void Legendary I ever pulled from a shard, and he was so powerful he transformed my account. So definitely the power of the champion matters. But I also think the moment I got him matters, right? If I got him now as opposed to 2 years ago, I probably would be very happy, but I don't know that he would be my favorite champion. So rather than say, okay, because this is well-trodden territory, rather than say, okay, my favorite champion is Cardiel, I'm actually going to choose some other champions. I'm going to go through my champions here. Now, I do have champions on other accounts as well, but I'm going to stick to my main account here. So who are my favorite champions on this account? Why don't we just start with the rares? Let me see if I can pick some rares who are my favorite. So I think definitely my favorite rare overall is Bellower. I just think he's a fantastic champion. He's got 3 AoEs. He's got all these debuffs. You can use him as a really fast campaign farmer. He's good in Doom Tower secret rooms. You can even, if you get him early on in the game, you can use him almost everywhere. So really fun, versatile champion. I like versatile champions. That's a big bonus for me. I am a free-to-play player, so I always want a champion that can go into multiple areas of the game. And he does that really well. Painkeeper is also really cool. I like her a lot. I love her cooldown reduction ability. I think that that's fun to play around with. You can even stack 2 or 3 Painkeepers into a team and see what they can do for you, and that can be really fun. And then let's just say, skip sort of the big names like Coldheart and Apothecary. Let's just go with one of the starter champions here. Athel's my favorite starter champion, I think. I've run them all at some point. They are all good. I would definitely say she's not the best starter champion, but I like her aesthetic. I like her kit. I like the way she kind of fights. I like the weaken on her A1. I like the swords that come out of the sky on her nuke. So her animations are cool. And so she's just my favorite starter champion. As far as epics are concerned, and that's another question that I just got. So another question from Thugzilla90 is, who is your favorite epic champion? So we'll keep moving. We'll do this way. We'll do rare champions and epic champions, then we'll end up with legendaries. So out of the epic champions, I definitely have 3 favorites who pop out right away for me. And the first one is Genbo. He was the arena nuker that solved my arena problem for me. As soon as I got him, built him up, and speed tuned a team around him, I got to gold 5, and just I've lived there ever since. So in terms of Great Hall progression, this is probably the most important champion on my account. Another important champion in my Great Hall development was Deacon Armstrong. And if you've watched some of my videos, you know that he is an incredibly versatile epic champion, and I think he can be used in a lot of places. I do use him in my gold 5 arena. I also use him in dungeon runs. I use him in Hydra boss. You can use him in clan boss. You can use him everywhere. This extra turn mechanic he has on his A3 with the turn meter fill, but really I like the turn meter reduction on enemies. That's incredibly powerful. And then obviously the speed in all battles of 19% aura, really strong. So those are 2 of my favorite, and probably my third favorite is Seeker. This Seeker over here with the boot on him that you can see, he's actually the first one that I built, and then I have a second one here who I built more recently to speed tune a clan boss team. So this is kind of my all-around Seeker. He is built in relentless gear. He gets me lots of extra turns. He gets that provoke out. I use him all over the place. And then I have a very specifically built Seeker for clan boss who needs to run at exactly 249 speed, and so that's what I have him at. And so yeah, I mean, one of the few epics I've actually built 2 copies of, so definitely one of my favorites. There are a lot of other great epics who I really enjoy. I have several on this account, but I think those 3 are my standouts above and beyond anybody else. And then finally, let's take a look at my legendaries. I do have a bunch of legendaries. You can see I have a ton of legendaries that aren't even built yet. Just recently pulled Tamisia. Obviously, we have Wukong down here. I just pulled Elva. So, you know, this list is constantly growing and changing. I haven't spent a lot of time building legendaries recently. The most recent one I just 6-starred and started to build out is, where is she? Lady Kimmy. So I just 6-starred her. I am on my way to mastering her. I put her in some perception gear. I want to see if I can get her a little bit faster and with a little bit more accuracy than what I've got. I need some 6-star speed boots with some accuracy in the substats. I still have to glyph everything out. She's got a 3-star blessing. I need to choose the blessing, so I am currently building her. But in terms of my favorites, let's get away from Cardiel for a second, because he is my clear favorite. After Cardiel, there are a few that stand out. I would say my next favorite is Mithrala. Obviously, she's a champion that you can earn, right? You can get Mithrala. Everybody can. So you just have to get into Hydra boss, start farming those fragments. So she felt like an achievement, you know, and she was one of the first real major like end game achievements I felt like I accomplished. So getting my Mithrala was satisfying, but then she's just so good. She's incredible. She has so many good uses. You can put her everywhere in the game. She is an incredibly versatile champion, incredibly powerful. I love the way you build her too, because she even has this this passive where, let's see, increases this champion's resistance. The amount by which it is increased is equal to the amount of accuracy this champion has. So you can build her with a ton of accuracy, as you will see I have done. I've got, you know, almost 600 accuracy on her, which means she gets almost 600 additional resist. So her resistance is like 700 or something. Where does it say? Well, it doesn't even say here. Okay, but you would add this 598 to that 134. So she has over 700 resist, which just makes her a great cleanser. And then, yeah, I take her into arena. I take her into Hydra clan boss, obviously, with the hex and the poisons and the shields and the strengthen and the increased attack, increased defense. You can take her everywhere. So I would say she's number 2. After that, I think Helikath. Helikath is probably my number 3 favorite champion. That block damage buff on his A2, he hits really hard. He's got this AoE shield. He's got a weaken on his A1. He's got counterattacks with his passive when his block damage is up. Yeah, this guy is amazing. He unlocked clan boss for me. He was the guy that allowed me to finally really speed tune a 1 key on all affinities. So I also use him in a lot of places. If I ever have trouble getting through content, if I run into trouble getting through content, I often try him out. He's one of my first solutions. So he's incredibly powerful, and I really enjoy him. And then, I mean, after that, you know, so if we said Mithrala and Helicath, who's my next favorite legendary? There are so many that maybe fill that next spot. But one that I've really enjoyed recently, who's near the top of that, has to be Pythion. So he was a fusion not too long ago, and he's just great in Arena. He's really good as a cleanser. He also has a block debuffs. He's got an AoE revive. He's a good healer. Yeah, I use him in a lot of spaces. Also, Syl of the Drakes. I love her. Also, Physics. Also, Newt. Also, Shermani is one of my favorite old school champions. You know, there's so many good champions out there. But really, out of all of the ones that I've built to 60, there are very few that I don't like or don't use. So almost all of the 60s that you see here on the board are amongst my favorite champions in the game. Cooking OJ Ate Me, I believe is the name, asks, I'm a chef, so what is your favorite food? I used to definitely have a favorite food. I do love food. I'm a little bit of a foodie, I would say. I enjoy cooking food. I would used to say that my favorite food was like a ribeye steak. I love a really good ribeye. But I've kind of gotten away from eating as much red meat as I used to. I've always been a fan of different types of food, different cultural foods. So whether that's, you know, like Mediterranean style food, or whether that's South American food, you know, whether it's, I don't know, Brazilian barbecue or Korean barbecue, or, you know, American barbecue. I love barbecue. Whether it's, you know, something spicy or something sweet or something new. I don't know. It's really hard to say. I've been on a kick over the last, you know, 10 years. I would say, if that's a kick. I've in the last 10 years, I've really explored different types of cuisines. So I love food that is simple and is communal. So like paella, I love paella. I would say paella is one of my favorite foods. And I learned to make it, and I do enjoy making it and eating it with family. So that's really good. But I don't know if I have a favorite anymore. I do think that I just enjoy trying new things. So yeah, I'm always up for something new. Steve 11B29 asks, what was it that made you want to start doing content on Raid Shadow Legends? That's a really good question. I think I enjoyed the game. More than that, I've been wanting to do something new. My career is 25 years old. I've been doing the same thing for 25 years. I enjoy it. I'm good at it. I'm successful at it. But I've always wanted to get into gaming somehow, whether that's designing board games or, you know, being in a creative team for a game, or I don't know, you know, something. I love PC games. I love mobile games. I love console games. I love board games. I love sports. So getting involved in some kind of game was, I think, paramount. And then obviously as an educator, I think that it dovetails well, being able to teach games. And so this was the game that I've been playing. It's complex, it's deep, it's interesting, it's tactically, you know, very compelling. I think there's a lot of there are a lot of opportunities for theory crafting here. You can dive deep into a champion and the way the mechanics work. You can look at it, you know, as a very complex series of problems, of challenges, puzzles. And I enjoy the puzzles of it. So I think that it was a combination of events. One, it was me wanting to do something new. Two, it was me finally saying to myself, I should do something with gaming, with my passion for gaming. And three, this happened to be the game that I was playing the most at the time. And then four, I think the complexity of the game and my ability to teach complex things kind of dovetails really well. And so it all just sort of happened simultaneously, where I was like, I think I need to give this a go. So that's why I decided to make content on this game. But I don't think this is a stopping point. I think that I will continue to find new areas to make content. But this is my learning experience. This is the place that I get to learn about YouTube, and I get to learn about connecting with an audience, and I get to learn about the demands of making videos every day or every week for a game. So yeah, I'm learning a lot, and I'm really enjoying it. But that's what got me into it. Okay, I'm sorry if I butchered this name, but Ragib Ishraka 8754 asks, have you been able to play every difficulty level this game has, like Hydra, Nightmare, Sand Devil, Shogun, Plat Arena, etc.? And that's a good question. And if you look currently, you know, at my arena, I am in Gold 5. And then if you look at my 3v3, I think currently, yeah, I've actually fallen down to Silver 2. I've been so busy lately. So no, I haven't gotten to every difficulty level. I haven't gotten to Nightmare, Hydra. I haven't completed every dungeon in hard mode yet. So if you look at my hard modes in the dungeons, in some cases I'm close to finishing, like with Dragon, I'm up to stage 9. I think with, some of these, I don't even know if I've touched the hard modes yet. Yeah, like I haven't even done Ice Golem's Peak yet. So I have faith that I can do all of them. I believe as a free-to-play player, you can do all of the difficulty levels, including Nightmare Hydra. I'm not there yet. Part of it is because I don't have the time to focus on all of the areas of the game and building new teams and building out champions. I have a full-time job. I have a family. I have the YouTube channel now, and I'm playing 2 accounts. So it feels like there's a lot still out there left to do. But I also have every confidence that I can do all of the things that I want to do in this game. I don't think you have to pay to get to end game. I think you can accomplish a great deal in this game as a free-to-play player. And that's what I expect will eventually happen. They continue to put out new content. That's another thing. But I will say, there are things that I've been able to do as a free-to-play player that I am proud of. So for instance, Demon Lord Clan Boss, I farm Ultra Nightmare every day. I farm Nightmare every day. I can 1-key both of them. I do pretty well in Hydra. I've gotten up to Brutal Hydra recently, and I can 1-key most of the time Brutal Hydra. So that's pretty cool. My arena team sits in Gold 5. I've gotten my Lydia, so when it comes to faction crypts, that was a challenge that I gave myself a few months ago, and I was able to complete this. So I do feel like it's just a matter of time, right? The more that you invest in the game, the more you accept the challenge, take it on, and focus on it, the more of those challenges you'll be able to complete. So Shockbacher9944 asks, what is your favorite team you have built? And that is a good question. I actually am very proud of a lot of teams, but let me go ahead and just kind of shrink myself down here. I don't block the vision as much because I always do that in my videos. I apologize. I'm trying to learn, try to get better. But so there are a lot of teams that I'm really proud of. I don't know that I have a favorite team so much as I have teams that are very satisfying to think back on. One of them is my Iron Twins team. So this team here is a full auto team on all affinities, and it can farm stage 15 at close to 100%. For like 2 of the affinities or 3 of the affinities, it's 100%, and for the 4th affinity, it's like 90%. So I can just basically click on this. It's not fast. I didn't speed tune it. I basically just experimented with the champions that I already had. I was able to put them together and find a team that worked. And now I just run it. And I don't have to think about this. Usually I try to run it, when I have some downtime. So maybe I have a meeting with a client or something, and I'm just running this in the background or on my phone. And so it takes like 8-10 minutes to clear each key, something like that. I think it's about 8 minutes. And then, I get all of my keys done in less than an hour, and then it's off the table for the day. So I'm proud of that team. Not a super exciting team, but definitely it was nice to be able to get to stage 15 of all the affinities and have a full auto team I didn't have to worry about without Geomancer, because I don't have Geomancer on my roster. So that was a big part of it. I think there are some other teams that I'm proud of. One of them is my arena team, my classic arena team. So my classic arena team is just these 4 champions. It's a fun team. It's very versatile. I don't have to swap it out too often, and I can usually just go ahead and click auto and win battles, which is really nice. I do select my targets appropriately, but in a lot of cases, I can kill 6 or 7 or 8 teams on a page. But usually I can, at the very least, I could probably kill 3 or 4 teams on a page in full auto and not have to worry about it. So that's very satisfying. And like I said, it's very versatile, which is nice, because one of the things I think about a Go First team is sometimes it can struggle against particular types of defensive teams. Like this team chews through Ultimate Death Knight teams no problem. And that's kind of rare for a Go First team. You really have to, manipulate a Go First team to overcome UDK in most cases. But with Cardiel's allied attack here, basically you can either just nuke UDK right off the board, or you can just fight around him. You can ignore him and kill everybody else, and then he's the last one to die. So that's not a problem either. So I really enjoy this team. And then probably the team I am most proud of is my clan boss team. So this is a team I speed tuned myself. I watched a bunch of videos. I learned about the clan boss calculator from Deadwood Jedi, and I previously had speed tuned a budget unkillable team, and that was okay. But I actually found that my untuned clan boss team did more damage than my speed tune, and it was simply because I had better champions on my untuned team. So I basically had these 4 champions. I had Ninja, I had Cardiel, and what I didn't have was Renegade. So instead, in the place of Renegade, I think I had a Valkyrie. And that team was 1 keying Nightmare and 3 keying Ultra Nightmare. But eventually I said, I don't want to have to deal with that. I want to be able to auto battle both Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare. I want to get more keys, like I want to get more chests. So I want to 1 key Ultra Nightmare so that I could potentially get like brutal, maybe even hard. So I could get 6 or 8 chests per day. And so, you know, knowing that Renegade could potentially create an unkillable team with just 1 block damage champion like Helicath, and since I already had Helicath built, I decided to try to speed tune this team. And it was tricky. It took me about 3 days, maybe 12 to 15 hours worth of work in terms of in the clan boss calculator, back in the game, back and forth, even manualing fights to make sure that I understood how all of these champions would work together, how the cooldown would work together. I actually messed up because I built my first Renegade. I fully booked her out, and that meant her cooldown reduction skill, which I can show you. So this skill here, Sacrificial Ritual, which decreases the cooldown of all ally skills by 2 turns. That was originally on a 5-turn cooldown. When you book it all the way out, it's on a 5-turn cooldown. And that was really hard to speed tune. And then I just sort of, after 2.5 days of work on the speed tune, not being able to quite get it right, I had this revelation. I was like, what if I just left it at 6 turns instead of 5 turns? And then I literally I finished the speed tune in like 10 minutes. Like it worked instantly. And I was so frustrated because I had already booked out my Renegade. So I had to build a second Renegade and then just make sure only 1 book went into Sacrificial Ritual. And then as soon as I did that, I now had a full auto 1 key Ultra Nightmare for every affinity except Spirit Affinity. It was 2 keys for Spirit Affinity, but 1 key for all the other affinities on Ultra Nightmare and on Brutal. So that was really sweet because that just saved me so much time. This was even before Quick Battle was a thing. And then I actually did eventually get around to a second speed tune. So this speed tune is my 1 key on Spirit Affinity. It is not full auto. I have to manual 2 turns, and then it is full auto the rest of the way. But this will actually also full auto everything else. So this is 1 key for every affinity for Ultra Nightmare, Nightmare, Brutal, and Hard. So I'm just proud of that. That was hard work, and it was a great solution. And now I've been running it for, I don't know, 8 months or something, and it's been fantastic in terms of resources. But I do kind of miss the challenge of speed tuning a clan boss team. So I'm actually going to set myself a new challenge. I'm going to take Cardiel out of this team and see if I can speed tune it with an Elva, or maybe create an entirely new speed tune, just because I want to use Cardiel faster than he is here. You can see he's actually only running at 245 speed, and I want a Cardiel that runs at like 345 speed. So yeah, so I think I'm going to try a new speed tune in the near future, and I'll be sure to put a video out about that. So finally, we have a question here from ClearCannon4084 who asks, what does a normal day in your life look like? And that's a good question. And the answer is, I do not know. There is no normal day in my life. My job is 7 days a week. YouTube is 7 days a week. I have a wife. We have a dog. I have family that, you know, we're close to. Try to get in, you know, walks, try to get some movement into my life, try to get a little exercise. But if I could say, you know, what was an optimal day? What would an optimal day look like? Probably I wake up around 7 a.m. I help my wife get off to work, make her lunch, get the dog up, get her out, get her some exercise, get her fed, get her settled down. And then I get to my desk somewhere between 8 and 8:30. I check in with Son about the day's YouTube plan. It may be an early morning YouTube work kind of schedule, or it may be an evening schedule, depending on what I have going on with my clients from my regular job. Also, depending on what's going on in the game, then I'll do some work, whether that's with clients or on YouTube. And then I'll usually, have lunch, take the dog out again, come back, get into the second part of my day. We try to get a video recorded the day before. So usually we're posting at 8 a.m. or 10 a.m. And that means that video was shot the evening before. So sometime around 4 or 5 p.m., we get into shooting the new video for the next day. Sometimes it's later. Sometimes we go until 10 p.m., 11 p.m., even midnight. Son and I work on the thumbnails together, so we get that up, and then we kind of plan for the next day and what's going to happen. I try to eat dinner with my wife. We have some family time in the evening, and then when she goes to bed, I come back here to work on YouTube stuff. So yeah, there's a lot going on right now, and like I said, every day is a little bit different, and that optimal day only happens maybe once a week. Every day there's a bit of a scramble with something going on. So for instance, today my dog is getting her teeth cleaned at the vet. And so I'm going to have to go pick her up in the middle of my workday, which is fine. I mean, that's a thing that happens. Everybody has those interruptions in their life. But so today will not be an optimal day. But almost every day is not the optimal day. I guess that's what makes life interesting, right? Is rolling with those challenges and finding solutions, just like we find in the game. We find those solutions in life, figure out what we want, and go for it. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But I will say that, I'm learning to get better at this YouTube thing. I'm learning better about balancing all of those different aspects of my life. And I think that's important because this is the goal. This is the goal, to be doing this the majority of the time, to start phasing out my old job and make YouTube my new job. I don't know if that's going to work yet. We're still discovering that. The channel is still young and we're still growing. But that would be a cool new challenge for me. That's one of the things about my career is I've been doing it for 25 years. I enjoy my career. I feel good. I'm an expert in that area, but it's time for something new. It's time for a new challenge for me. And so that's what I've taken on with this YouTube channel. And I don't know that this is the stopping point. Raid Shadow Legends is a game I'm currently playing, but games don't last forever. So at some point, I'm going to have to develop other areas, maybe new channels, new challenges to take on. Moving forward. All right, so that is it. Those are all the questions that we had. I hope that those answers are interesting to you. If you have any more questions, feel free to put them in the comments of this video. Maybe I'll be doing this on a monthly basis, a Q&A, kind of ask me anything. Maybe we'll even work that into a live stream. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens with this video, if people like it, or if people are like, hey man, just stick to the Raid Shadow Legends content. We're good with that stuff. So whatever it is that the audience wants, you kind of have to make that the focus of your channel, and that's fine. But I just thought I'd put this out as a celebration of our 1,000 subscriber achievement. Thank you so much for all of your support, all of the comments on the videos, the activity in the Discord community. It's been really exciting. It's been really fun. And I've enjoyed the ride so far. And we're going to try to keep it going. So yeah, that's it. That's it for me in this video. Thanks so much for hanging out. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. All right, have a good day. I've been Colred. I will see you in another video very soon.